What's up, everybody? This is Nick, and you're joining us once again for a Micro Mini Lightning Newscast, kind of an op-ed edition.
Ooh, that's new.
Yes, Eric and I will, well, that voice you hear, of course, is my good friend and co-host.
This is Eric.
And I already said his name, but I want to hear him say it.
In case I forget.
And yeah, well, we want to know that you know who you are. But, Eric, we're going to do a little editorial tonight. I read an article this week, and I don't know that I'm going to set a timer for this one. We won't go too long, but we'll try to, get our opinions out there.
Yeah, I like that.
But recently, there has been this article I read pointed to YouTube's top creators kind of burning out and breaking down en masse. That was the name of the article. It's talking about how recently there have been quite a few YouTubers that have been talking about mental health, things they've been going through, about needing to take a break, that there are all these different things that have been happening. So just to kind of put this into perspective, as of today, what is, when we're recording this in the middle of June, or, the middle of this week of June, there have been Bobby Burns, a little over 3 or 4 weeks ago, a YouTuber with over 1 million subscribers. He sat down on a rock in Central Park to talk about a recent mental health issue. 1 week ago, Elle Mills, a creator with 1.2 million subscribers, uploaded a video that included vulnerable footage during a breakdown. June 1st is when this article was written. It says 6 days ago, Ruben Gunderson, also known as El Rubius, the third most popular YouTube in the world with just under 30 million subscribers, turned on his camera to talk to his viewers about the fear of an impending breakdown and his decision to take a break from YouTube. And so these are only some of the examples of people that have been having these kind of these moments of breaking down and those sorts of things. There's a lot more that are listed here, and I'm not going to go through the whole list. PewDiePie, even at one point, who everybody knows PewDiePie pretty much, he had to take a break for a while. So I mean, there's all these things that have been just happening to these, to the people you would think, man, have it all together because they are YouTube or internet famous or, loved by millions.
Loved is a very generous term, I would say that. Here's my concept of this. A lot of these people, they probably shoot, edit, obviously they're directing, maybe even writing to generate this content. In the hopes of driving viewership to gain ad revenue and hopefully some sponsorships as well. And that is a huge burden on a single person. Like if you notice a lot of celebrities, they have agents and publicity people around them to support them in what they do, and they get breaks.
Right.
And in the internet's 24-hour cycle, if you're not doing anything, you're not noticed.
Oh, yeah.
And you can be losing your subscribers or your followers or not keeping your brand alive in any way. And also, internet is very soft. You're, like I say, famously in a soft way. You're not a household name. You're not on the front of magazines most of the time. I mean, there's the top 1% of YouTubers, such as PewDiePie or Hannah Hart or a couple others who have grown a business around their brand and have people supporting them along with it. But they're the primary face, but they've offloaded some of the work to others.
Right.
I mean, PewDiePie, I mean, I'm sure he probably has a full staff that take care of him. We have Philip DeFranco, whose staff is, what's he have? 6 researchers, a couple producers, an art director, office managers, personal assistants. I mean, he has a full team of people to help him do his daily show, which I appreciate because I like his show. And so, I mean, you talk about people like Jordan Peterson, he's a teacher, wrote a famous book. Now he's kind of the mouthpiece for a certain type of political belief. And I was listening to him talk, and he mentioned the way he lives his life is he doesn't know his schedule. He's like, I don't know what I'm doing tomorrow. I don't know where I'll be or what I'm doing. I go where I'm told by the people who handle me. He goes, I can't do it. I can't do it. He's an adult man, a professional in his field, and he's saying, I can't do this stuff alone. And a lot of these people, they're doing it alone or nearly alone. They might have like some camera operators and people do a little bit of the work, but it's all on them.
They probably have friends or, and a lot of times it seems like this YouTube community is, it's kind of its own group of people because they collaborate in a lot of kind of its own support system because they collaborate in a lot of videos together and do that sort of thing.
Yeah, and that's for a specific reason. It's easy content.
Right.
Interviews and collaborations are far easier to develop than standalone, like pieces all about you. So any YouTuber who's like almost a lone YouTuber who does collaborations and some other, but does a lot of stuff alone, there's a lot of pressure on them. Same for Twitch or I don't know, what's another platform that has maybe some Instagram. I don't know. I'm not on Instagram, so I can't speak to that one as much. But when you're pretty much your own brand, rocking your own life, man, that's a lot of pressure.
Well, let me ask you this. You're one that I watch some YouTube. I'm not one that follows any particular person.
Yeah.
In order to stay relevant, how often does someone, or even to build their brand up, how often does somebody need to put stuff out?
It depends on the quality of the content. Somebody like Kurtzegard, which is like in a nutshell, those guys only put out something once every month, or it feels like. But their stuff is such high quality, it's ultra high quality, that they don't have to put out stuff. So the last video was 3 weeks ago. So every 2 to 3 weeks, they're pumping out a ultra high quality video. And they got 6 million subs, and they're a full team. So we're talking about quality there. You have a Philip DeFranco who does news and current events, and he does daily and actually has a team that does extra stuff. You have people like Sugar Pine 7 who don't put out a ton on YouTube. I think only their weekly podcast they put out. But they have Rooster Teeth backing them, and they do some other stuff. Like they've done some movies and some other things. I'm just kind of looking through my feed here.
Well, and I know people like Achievement Hunter, they do it like every day.
Yeah.
And, and that kind of stuff would be...
They got a full company supporting them.
Right.
They have 8 or 10 editors, and how many people are in Achievement Hunter that are on-screen personalities? 6, 8?
8,
yeah,
9, 10 sometimes.
There's up to 8, and I think they can get some of their editors, some others. So they have like solid 8 plus 2 or 3 that are pretty regulars, and then editors and various other people.
And that's the thing, is that a lot of times it will do something to where like they will have somebody sub in during their deal. But a lot, like you said, a lot of this I think has to do with, the YouTube schedule. I mean, I look at our podcast numbers. If, not that they were ever anything up in the 1.4 million or whatever.
Yeah, we're only 1.1 million.
But it's strange to me that if you miss 1 week, your numbers really take a hit.
Oh yeah, let's go look at our statistics. And so since last November, when we kind of took a break because of the holidays and schedules and whatnot, we kind of set back, and we don't make any money, so it's not like it's a vital thing that we put out a show or anything like that. So we try to do what? We do 4 a week at least.
Right.
And we shoot them all at once.
And every once in a while, there'll something that happen and it'll we'll skip a week or something like
Yeah,
that.
something will happen, or like the week before, we did a special where we did an hour long and just had a teaser for that.
Right.
And so, yeah, I mean, nothing crazy. And if you look at our trending, it's like a serrated knife. It's just like peaks and valleys constantly. And there's no consistency to it.
Right. And you can tell when, and I'm just saying this but you can tell when we've taken a week off, and then when we come back, it's not near as high as what it was.
Exactly.
Like, some people just go away. And that's the thing, is like, even especially on YouTube, I can understand the pressure of trying to put out a video, say every day or once a week, or, those sorts of things, especially if you're doing things like putting out skits or, different things. Well, and I watched this video, this Elle Mills. It was actually attached to this article.
Okay.
I watched her video talking about why she's, she asked the question of why am I unhappy? Like, and she talks about how this was her goal. She wanted to be
YouTube famous.
Right. She wanted to be famous on YouTube. And I'm leading up to a question here for you, and I have an opinion on it too, but I think part of the thing is like, especially for a 19-year-old, and that's how old this Elle Mills is, if you've made this your goal to become famous and you reach it at such a young age, what's the next step? Like, what's your next goal? If that's what you said, that's your purpose in life, that is what you want to do, and you don't have any other plans after that or any other goals, you're kind of just going to be drifting. And of course you're going to feel unhappy.
Yeah, exactly.
And so I kind of feel like that's what kind of happened here, and I feel bad for her. If you watch the video, I mean, she's really struggling with stuff. There's actually a guy by the name of Sam Schaefer. He's another YouTuber who burst.
I've heard that name.
Yeah, he burst into the spotlight for a while. He actually had to take a break from Twitter for similar reasons that this Mills, but he was quoted as saying, "I've often talked about the pressure of being a YouTuber, and it's a tricky thing to talk about, because to find success on YouTube is to live the dream. Like, this is the ultimate. And if you achieve this kind of success on the platform, which so many people try to do, like, how dare you complain about it? It is difficult to talk about because unless you've been in this position, I think it's challenging to empathize with it." And that's what a lot of people, I think, look at it and say, well, boo-hoo, poor little, successful. I mean,
I still get it. Even outside of YouTube, in any industry, there's going to be those who excel, and that's fine. That is the way it works. And a portion of those are not going to love where they end up, or they're not going to like the pressure, or it's not fun anymore. I mean, I've experienced burnout. I used to program nonstop, so I loved it, and I just got tired. I was programming all the time. I was testing, and I was like on the cutting edge of doing a lot of things, and I just couldn't do it. I was like, I'm tired of this. The amount of I get paid versus the amount of work I'm doing isn't worth it. And I get it. I mean, burnout's a real thing in any industry, so I can understand when it happens on YouTube or in some sort of social realm. It may seem more shocking when someone quits.
Right.
When someone, I mean, I don't know if you ever worked anywhere where someone's just like, yeah, I'm tired of working here, and they quit. And you're just like, whoa. I mean,
right.
I'm tired of working here. I quit. I'm like, you were making pretty good money. What are you going to do? I don't know. I just don't want to do this. And I'm like, okay.
Yeah, but I mean, that's the thing for a lot of these is it just about the money? I mean,
I think that's the exact opposite. It's nothing to do with money.
Right. And that's the thing. I honestly don't know that. Yes, you make this your goal, and I mean, I guess that leads up to one of the questions I was forming and leading up to. Do you think we're in a society right now where kids are looking at this and going, this is the ultimate? Like, they see these people and they want to be them.
Yeah, probably. That 19-year-old girl clearly knew what she wanted to do, and she was able to accomplish it. I don't, within, I was kind of looking through her catalog. It took about 3 years.
Yeah.
I mean, over 3 years, which is pretty good. We've been on the air a year and a half.
Yeah.
Year and a half or so. We're not even thinking near that. But growth is exponential typically. However, I believe more people fail than make it. I heard recently there was a Twitch streamer who quit their job to become a Twitch streamer, and I wish I had the article in front of me, but I don't. I'm just doing it from memory, so forgive me. He was a Twitch streamer, streamed for 3 years, realized it wasn't going to happen. He was not going to be able to do this. And that might be maybe one of the guys that you mentioned. But he realized he had ruined all his friendships. His girlfriend had left him. He was miserable, and it just wasn't going to happen. It just I don't know if it was the success wasn't going to happen or the joy from doing it was gone, but it wasn't going to happen. I wish I had the article in front of me to read it, but that was kind of the gist of it. It was he quit, spent 3 years of his life trying to be a social media, Twitch, which is still social media star, and didn't happen. And that's his story.
Well, and that kind of thing is very much, sad. And I know probably a lot of people have experienced that kind of thing, and I hate that for people, that kind of sad reality of, but I mean, it's also the same thing with not everybody that wants to be a NBA star is going to become an NBA star. Not every kid, which, I was talking to one of my friends today, they just hired a pitching coach for their 5-year-old son for baseball. And, you got to get them started early if you want them to play. But I mean, here's the deal, probably, not statistically shows that you're not going to become an MLB.
Yeah. Well, it's all about this. Look at those who have made it and it burned out. It was a quality of life issue, right? Mm-hmm. And that can happen to athletes. That can happen to anybody. It's a quality of life issue. No matter what you're making or how successful you are, I guess, clearly it doesn't satisfy you. There's something missing if your quality of life isn't what you think it should be. So there's an expectation there. Whether you voiced it or even understand it yourself, there's an expectation there. And I think everyone has that. And those who, I think, do a lot more self-explanatory, look in upon themselves, think about what they truly want, need, and what matters. And I think over time, no matter what I've done, you're my best friend, Nick.
Yeah.
And I enjoy every moment we spend together. And I enjoy that. Would I quit my job and move close to you? Probably not. If it was you're moving away, because you've moved away before.
Right.
But when you're close and it's nice and I see you on a regular basis, it's way more fun.
Oh, it definitely is.
There's a huge difference there, and just that, and you're just one of my friends. And so, the quality of life issue seems to be revolve around family and friends, and more than anything else. Because even if you're failing and you got a good group of friends and family, hopefully family, then it's a lot easier to bear those burdens.
Well, yeah, and that's the thing is, one of the other things is, knowing when to take a break. A lot of these people that are doing this, that are doing YouTube and things like that, you made the point at the very beginning, TV series, they take breaks over the summer, and the actors get some time off. Movie stars, after they're done filming, they take some time off.
Yeah.
The importance of taking a break is essential, and you may lose some subscribers, but without doing it, you're just not going to have the same love and excitement to go out there and make the quality content that got you popular in the first place.
Exactly.
And I mean, that's part of the deal here is I know everybody is wanting, like a bunch of kids want to do this sort of thing. They look at these YouTubers and they go, hey, they're a kid just like me. I can do that. And so they, like you said, there's a Twitch streamer, I'm sure it's happened more than once, thought that they could make it, so they gave everything up and realized till it was too late, I kind of, messed things up here. Burned a few bridges just to be internet famous.
Yeah, and the thing is, like, no matter your skill, no matter your dedication, there's always an X factor. And that X factor can be the right person seeing your content at the right time. The right article mentioning you at the right moment, a wave of some sort of social media or something that points to you haphazardly. That you like all this stuff that you can put in the time, the dedication, quality content, but there's still a factor that is out of your hands. Everybody, most people who are famous, they can point to the moment where it's like, this person, these people, or this situation is what caused me to become actually famous. I was doing my time. I was doing quality, but there was a factor that outside of my control that happened. Was it the guy that did Clerks? What's his name?
Kevin Smith.
Kevin Smith. So he did the film Clerks. A guy from Miramax just happened to see it at a screening. Just wasn't going there to watch it. Goes, this is hilarious. We'll buy it. That was it. And then after that, he became famous. That was it.
Huh.
And no one knew Clerks. No one knew Kevin Smith at the time.
Well, let me ask you this. That brings up a question I had. I actually put some questions together, when we talked about doing this. And you can answer this quickly, but do you think there's these, like Disney has some pull within YouTube, like they have a studio that they have a bunch of YouTubers under, and then there's that Maker Studio, which actually may be the Disney one.
That's the Disney. They bought that.
Yeah.
Why? I don't know.
And so do you think, I'm curious, and I don't know, you may actually know, what is the schedule that those companies require them to put out? I mean, do they hold them to a contract?
I have no idea.
And do you think that those kind of companies are pushing their people too hard, too far, and that's where you end up with situations like a Logan Paul, who for content goes even crazier to try to meet numbers and go there and make some bad joke and gets in trouble.
Well, the thing about, when
the PewDiePie breakdown. An
MCN, its job is to help you grow. They take a small portion of your profits to help you with, I'm assuming, I don't know what all the resources MCN provides because we're not under one, but, probably promotion or help with collaborations. And I don't know. I don't know what their policies are on content creation or viewing cycles. Like you have to generate so many views. I don't know if they have those because it's they can just say, because they're getting paid no matter what, whether they do something for you or not. They're going to get paid because they get a portion of your revenue. But how the contract is designed, I don't know. But PewDiePie, who used to be under Maker or something before the dumb Nazi stuff that the media threw on him, and so then he's under something else. I can't remember. But they have teams like the high producing creators have assistants that come out of there to help them so they don't get burnout. So they have resources. But the smaller YouTubers, I can't imagine a 1 million person YouTuber actually having that much of a demand. She might have the girl we were speaking of might have 1.2 million subscribers, but what are her view rates? What is the time, the eyes on videos? Like how long are they watching? What are responses to whatever she's doing? If she's doing other collaborations and how those are working, I don't know. I wish I did. Maybe Disney or those MCNs are pushing them, but I don't think so because they'll drop people in a heartbeat for any reason. They'll cut 10% of their people just to cut a budget item out. So I don't think they're requesting too much of them because I think the contract is pretty loose until you become like the top 1 or 5% within the MCN. That's what I understand. If someone is in an MCN or works for an MCN, let me know. Go to facebook.com and search for Pull Up Chair Podcast and tell us kind of how it works, because I honestly don't know, and I would love to.
Well, yeah, I'd like to know what that kind of thing is. I mean, it's just interesting to me, especially in this culture we live in now, especially what I would call the social media, almost YouTube culture. It's these people are in some ways kind of becoming the modern day celebrity.
Yeah.
I mean, obviously a lot of them aren't going to be movie stars or anything like that, but for everyday kids, I mean, like one of your kids tonight wanted to watch, a Twitch stream or a Let's Play.
Yeah, Let's Play stream. I don't know what they are. I mean, I know that it's MMOs, popular MMOs, or one of the other. I've watched them with them before, and
my nephews do the same thing.
Well, I mean, there is possibility for crossover, like Liza Koshy. If you don't, she's a huge YouTuber. She's kind of the face of YouTube right now when it comes to interfacing with real Hollywood. We'll say she is going to be on the new Double Dare.
Oh,
host.
Yeah.
She's a YouTuber. She's done red carpet events. She's hosted events like mainstream Hollywood events. That she is like the it girl right now.
Well, and if you're hosting Double Dare, you've made it.
I mean, you're living a dream that only one other person has lived.
Right. So. And you put you in an elite class that no one else will ever. That opens doors in Hollywood for you. But in all seriousness, this kind of thing, it's got to be something that I understand the pressure's tough. I was reading in this article, they were talking about PewDiePie. PewDiePie at one point took a break also.
Yeah.
Now, I mean, like you said, he probably has a whole team now that backs him.
I was just thinking of one of the guys I watch. He's a singer. He's really funny. He's from Sweden. He lives in the UK now. See if I can find one of his videos so I can get his name. But he was just talking about this on his channel because he says he stresses out so hard because of the YouTube thing that it caused him and his girlfriend, his live-in girlfriend, to break up. His last videos were about him moving, and I was just like, this is pretty intense. He was being honest about it and very transparent. And he's a singer, YouTuber, and he's the one that talks about. He's a really good singer, and he talks about.
I don't suppose his name is Eric Phillips, is it?
No.
Oh, okay.
What is his name? People say Romy. Romy is his name. Romy. Rumi. I'm sorry. Rumi Official. He talks about he's in a new house with another YouTuber because of the strain being a YouTuber has put on him, and I think he does other things other than just YouTube. I think he has some merchandise and he has some other stuff, but he's just the stress of it destroyed his relationship with his girlfriend, whose name was Beth. I know that because they used to have another channel called Beth and Rumi, and I mean, it's a real burden. I mean, just like in anything.
Well, I mean, there is a stress to stay relevant. They have to make new stuff that is new and different and just exciting so people will continue to watch.
Exactly.
And there is something that goes with that will, it could drive somebody to, have really bad mental anxiety and mental health issues that if not taken care of could be detrimental to them in the long run.
Exactly.
And so, I mean, I don't know. I found this interesting because it is something that I think a lot of people look at and they think, well, these people have it all together, or man, they've got the life. But, once again, when you peel back the facade, you find out that it's not all it's cracked up to be. No, I mean, there are some. Not everybody's as happy as what they make themselves out to be. In fact, that's something that Elle Mills says, that she always ends her videos happy, but honestly, she deep down inside, she's not. And so just because of
who is I mean, we all struggle through so much stuff.
We do. But I mean, I'm just saying there are people out there. You and I aren't in the limelight. There's people out there that, just like that one guy said, don't empathize with people. They look at it and say, oh, you poor little rich kid, or you poor little famous person. Like, they don't feel bad at all. But, unlike us who, I can empathize for that person because I can understand where that kind of pressure would probably drive me crazy.
I've never experienced that.
I haven't either. But I can put myself in those shoes and see how it'd be kind of nerve-wracking.
Exactly.
Because you never know when your numbers would drop. But I don't know. I just found it to be an interesting topic. I thought it'd be something fun to kind of like to bring up and see what Eric's opinion was. And
well, awesome. I appreciate you bringing that up and asking my opinion.
Well, Eric, what is your opinion about where they can find us?
Well, I have a pretty strong opinion about that, Nick. And that opinion is you can find us all over the internet. You can go to facebook.com, search for Pull Up a Chair Podcast. And if you have a comment or you want to tell us something, leave it there on this video or any other of the other videos we have. Secondly, you can find us on YouTube. It's just a copy of our audio podcast on there. You look up Pull Up a Chair Podcast. You can find us on iTunes and every podcasting app on Android. And you can last but not least find us on our own personal website, puckpodcast.website. Again, that is pucpodcast.website. Back to you, Nick.
All right. Well, we thank you for listening to us. And in all seriousness, just so you're, you're aware, if you are dealing with things that are overwhelming to you, like mental health issues, please get help with that. I mean, it's not something to just mess around with. It's not something to try to ignore and hope it goes away. I mean, make sure you're getting the proper help, because that's something that I think Eric and I both would always be proponents of.
I'm a big proponent of counseling and all that.
So, all right. Well, you have yourself a great day, and you know what? If you need to say something, or if you want to say something, or just feel free to message us, and you have yourself a wonderful day.
All right, bye.